everybody. Welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. Thank you for being here at Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, Brian Kruse. Welcome back again in this Thursday edition. And so we're a little bit later tonight, but, there's a lot of stuff happening today. So shit happens. Anyways, thanks for being here and joining me again from the state of Florida, my lovely co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back again. How was your day?
My day was good. It was good. It was it's my Sunday. So, I had a fairly relaxing day. I only had to do a little bit of work, which is a change of pace because I normally work through my days off. So, no complaints.
You got to make it happen. Hey, GR, welcome in the chat. Yeah,
Hi,
well,
GR.
It's good to have you here. And it's good to have you here. We're going to have some fun today. Of course, we always have fun here on Kruse Control, right? Yeah. Hopefully you like it out there too, audience. Also joining us here tonight, back again, from the Michigan man, Den, I don't know, Mr. Jake Slonecki. Jake, welcome back to Kruse Control. Citizen Skull Manager of the Year. How you doing today?
Of the year? Wow. We're not even that's a bold statement, sir. I'm trying.
I was told you won it already. That's what I was told. So that's all I'm saying,
I won it already?
You won it already.
In Brian's eyes, you won it already. So
all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, you got to take it. You got to hold it. You got to put it right here, tuck it in your pants, and call it a good day. Because now it's time for some breaking news. All right, everybody, it's time for some breaking news. And the very first thing I want to talk about is Mr. NPH himself, the Doogie man, Doogie Howser, MD, Neil Patrick Harris. So the very first thing I want to talk about is How I Met Your Father. Now, before we talked about that he was back to the show, of course, he came back for the for the season premiere of How I Met Your Mother, this new season. And now they're saying he's coming back for 2 more episodes in the mid-season finale. So Barney's coming back, everybody, because Neil Patrick Harris can't get enough of this shit, which is great because he's the best part. Well, he was almost one of the best parts of the original show. So bring him back for this. Of course, this is going to air on Hulu. Airing on Hulu, everybody, and airs at the end of the month. So he first appeared on the spinoff, like I said earlier, and I think this is great for him. They're saying right now that the final beats of this episode, called Cool and Chill, the timeline shifts to a year after the events earlier in the episode, where Soapy leaves her mom, Lori, after a hysterical voicemail saying that she thinks she's dating her father. So, like, bum, bum, bum moment, right? And then she crashes her luxury SUV into a car. And who is it? It's Mr. Barney Stinson himself. And he's like, dude, And then he walks out of the car and they have a moment. And her daughter goes, well, who is that? And she goes, oh, I'll tell you more about him later. And they're saying that he's going to be coming back for more stuff. He's going to be more of a pivotal part for next season. But you can watch Barney back on How I Met Your Father, March 28th. And then also follow March 23rd or 23rd, 28th, they'll be back for the 23rd of May, and then July 17th. So Barney's coming back, everybody, which makes me excited. And I love Neil Patrick Harris. Give me some more of him. MPH, man. Everybody loves some MPH. If you don't, come on.
You're
also,
not a friend of the show.
Not a friend of the show, right? You're not a friend of the show. So How I Met Your Father is a lot of fun. And if you haven't watched the show, I mean, How I Met Your Mother is a lot of fun. How I Met Your Father is okay. But something like this, I think, will help even more for the show because it needs a little Barney. There's a big part of the show they don't have on this. So bring them back, everybody, which they did. Also coming back is a show called The Accused. I was going to say Cruise. The Accused. The Accused is renewed for season 2 at Fox. This is a crime drama, and it's coming back, and they're saying, which I think is hilarious, is it's like it had 8.4 million viewers on the same day, live on the same day always, and it's the broadcast highest debut in nearly 2 years since which show? Law and Order. Bum, bum. So, it also sounds like it's Law and Order in a lot of ways, everybody. It just does. So it's based on the BBC's British 2010 series on the same name. And how it works, okay? So it opens in a courtroom. Yeah, right? So the series chronicles ordinary people wherein each episode is told from the defendant's point of view. And it'll open the courtroom every episode and you'll find who the accused is. So, the accused. Without knowing their crime or how they ended up on trial. And the events are told through flashbacks in that episode, while each episode explores a different crime in a different city with a new cast member. So The Accused has new actors coming in all the time, and it really does sound like a Law and Order type thing if you think about it, right? Like, doesn't it, Jake? It sounds like Law and Order. Dung dung.
That sound is, yeah, for sure.
It sounded. He's like, besides that, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
it's just
it.
like the riveting. This is the case before us, and we have to solve it. And
Check
I
out
like
the hook
those
before
shows.
the DJ revolves it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Find out how much doogie is in their trousers.
Send Max in there to find out.
Yeah, but
Max was a
it's
little
one of
sidekick.
I like those shows because it's one of those shows like you have that you just let it run in the background while you're cleaning, and you can just stop and check it out for a minute and then keep going. So it's
the
one of
best.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this sounds just like that DQ. So like they had the first season, and just record numbers. So like yeah, it makes sense. They'll bring it back. Fits their demographic. They're very excited about it. Something else that's coming forward is a new ride at Disney based on one of my favorite movies, Tron. So there's a new Tron ride, releasing at Disney's Magic Kingdom on April 4th. It's going to be opening. Magic Kingdom, April 4th. So if you're going there in the summertime to Disney World, you can ride Tron. Just putting it out there for some of our viewers like Chris Panico who's going there this summer. So now this is a Tron light cycle run where it grants fans the experience of entering the digital world of Tron and riding a high-speed light cycle that goes from 0 to 60 within seconds. It's going to it flies up. We got a nice little picture right here. And it's going to actually follow after Tron Legacy. So if you watch Tron 2, it's going to actually pick up the story, because you know how they do. They have stories like the Back to the Future ride. It kind of picked up after Back to the Future. I think it was 2 or 3. I think it was 2. So it kind of like, it's like an in-between. So it's kind of like that too. And of course, there's Tron Ares coming out next, but it's not going to pick up on that. This is going to happen before Tron Ares. And they even have Daft Punk music during this, which I think it's freaking awesome. And it's going to be like, they're going to be like users, because that's what they say in Tron. Like, follow this path. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. It sounds great. You can go inside, outside, then inside into the grid. So if you're a big fan of Tron, this is a good ride for you. And if you're going to Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, starting April 4th, you can ride this ride. And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. But I'm guessing Sabrina is not excited about it. Are you, Sabrina?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Jake,
that's all I'm giving
Jake,
you.
Does this sound good to you, Jake?
Would I ride the ride?
Yeah.
No.
You want to ride the
So.
ride? 0 to 60, man, like a bullet train, like woof. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've
you get some Daft Punk playing, you know.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
thinking
know.
about it.
Anything over freeway speed anymore is kind of nerve-wracking for me anymore. So
Oh, man.
yeah,
You're starting to feel it, huh, Jake?
I don't know. I just if I can make it from A to B without puckering my butthole too many times, I'm good.
Well, this is a good butthole pucker, everybody. So
I'll go on the ride.
into the grid.
I think
If you
it's
go
stupid
with
to
me.
make it right after a shitty show, you know.
I would ride this shit in a heartbeat. Throw me on this tomorrow. Let's go.
We'll ride it together. How about that? We'll go.
Okay. We'll pucker our buttholes together and get in this ride.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's called fucking
Totally
teamwork.
normal.
It's called teamwork, everybody. Teamwork. And another team that's in the news is Titans. Titans is coming back, everybody.
Segue, buddy.
Titans is coming back for its last half, the last end-all, be-all season of Titans. And the new trailer just dropped, and this looks like shit. Guys, it just gets worse. Like, for me, it just down the rabbit hole. But it's picking up, of course. When we left off, the Titans are barging in there to try to stop Sebastian from, becoming this magical creature that's going to be like the devil, like reincarnated in a way. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. So Gar goes in there. They go into the temple of Trigon, and they find Sebastian and Mother Mayhem are no longer there. The team must reach him before he is able to summon Trigon, while being forced to deal with a very difficult choice that might result in the sacrifice of one of the members. So this is coming out April 13th. And I saw the trailer, and they're trying to make Superboy Lex Luthor now, apparently, which he's okay as Superboy. He's all right. Now they shaved his head like they did at the end of the last season. And now they're really putting him in there. He's going to be joining up with Sebastian, it looks like. They're apparently like Nightwing's in some fantasy town, and they're living some different life randomly. And there's all this weird magic stuff. And Sebastian has like a weird bone mask on. It's comic. They're trying to get into the comic books, but for me, it looks cheesy as shit. And it just made me go, what? This show was a good premise, I thought. And then they just keep going the wrong direction with it. In the trailer, like, you know, they even make a joke, like the one girl's like, can I just smash something? Will that fix everything? And I like her delivery in it. It's fun, but it's like also like, no, this is dumb. Like, why are we not? We went to Metropolis. Where's fucking Superman? Why'd you kill Lex Luthor?
The show
Spoiler
sucks.
alert.
Who cares? Like, just stop. Just stop trying to make sense out of bullshit. It sucks and nobody cares.
I want it to be good though.
But it's not. And it's not going to be good in the next 4 episodes or whatever the fuck until it's done. So like, just get over it, dude. It sucks. Like,
it got canceled for a reason, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you
Yeah.
can
Jay,
shine
you
a
ever
piece of
watch
shit
this?
up, but it's still going to be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a piece of shit. Yeah. Jay, you didn't watch this shit, did you?
Of
No,
course
that's
not.
a hard no.
Of
I see it
course
right
not.
now.
Good
He
for you,
doesn't
Jake.
even
This
say
is the
it.
one
He doesn't
time I'm
even-
not mad you didn't watch it. I'm thrilled. Good job,
Yeah.
buddy.
It got canceled already. So we knew before this season coming out that it's canceled. So it's like, you know, last season I knew. As soon as the first episode, I think it was the second episode, I'm like, this shit's done. Off the rails. Totally off the rails. Maybe they're trying to do some weird comic book storyline, but for me, it's just way off the rails from where they were going with the show. Last season was actually pretty good, so I was like really upset. So if you're a fan of the show, which I was, hopefully there's some kind of redeeming factor for this last half.
Spoiler alert.
And we get
sucks.
some kind of fulfillment. Well, apparently they make the one kid Robin now, so he gets to wear the Robin costume, but who cares because the show's
Nobody
done.
wants to wear the Robin costume, by the way. It's like a stupid leotard that nobody's a fan of, so just stop it.
Yeah, Robin's a little,
hard pass.
Robin's Robin. Nobody wants to be Robin. Well, I mean, I would play Robin, but
Trash
Robin's
is
not
trash.
Batman.
Yes, GR. Thank you.
Trash is trash, and this smells like trash. Well, that's going away, everybody. But something we're not really sure if it's coming back or not yet because there's still no news is 911.
Roberts.
Oh.
So 911 right now, they are just entering negotiations for the next season. And so they haven't signed anything officially. Now, last season, I mean, yeah, but it's probably going to sign. I mean, also Lone Star and The Resident, two are big shows right now they're negotiating. And with Disney's 20th Century Television, they went down to the wire last year. So last year when they were negotiating, it came up like the closing hour of their contracts where they release everybody that they signed a new contract and then they did a new season. But this is like one of the most expensive seasons. It's like the 6th season. It's one of the most expensive shows of these 911. It's like, you know, the big names they have attached to, like Angela Bassett and Peter Krause. You know, there's some big actor contracts on this. Even Rob Lowe over on Lone Stars, you know, it's a pretty big name attached to a television show. So they're saying that, you know, it's probably going to come down to the wire again. It's not officially re-signed yet, but this is one of the ones we have to keep watching. And if you haven't seen 911, it covers, you know, major disasters involving elaborate visual effects and stunts. But for me, the thing is, they say too, for me, when you hear about this, they're talking about how it's the fact that Fox has no ownership in the series, which was developed under the network and 20th TV, but are the same company. But when the merger happened, it's like all been kind of messed up. So that's why there's always some more contract and legalese they have to go through just to get these contracts worked out because of this. We have I can confirm some breaking news. I think Chris Nico wants to say something.
911's coming back. What?
Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Like, I think there's a little nod
breaking
from
news.
one of our chat members right here. But yeah, I mean, they haven't announced anything yet, though. So
it might go to ABC. I'm getting some more breaking news into my phone right now. It might go to ABC and leave Fox, but it is coming back for sure.
See, that makes sense, though.
You're not going to get anywhere except for on Kruse Control, people. That is why you tune in.
That's why you tune in every time we're live.
I figure.
Yeah, something like this. So, because it's been going for so long, has been such a hit, you know, I could see Fox being like, now we're done, you know, I could see that happen if they're having issues. It's old contracts, there's legalese. I wouldn't do it either. But if Disney's pinching pennies these days. They are. I mean, they're one of the biggest,
richest company in the world. It's so stupid.
I know. Look at the layoffs coming. They're laying people off constantly.
Let's make a Tron ride, but cancel 911.
Exactly. I was going to say, too many butthole pinchers out there.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, boys. You know, but yeah, Mickey Mouse is, you know, sticking to people right now. It just is. They're talking about big layoffs coming again too for Disney Plus and for across the board. So, you know, so they're talking about that too. Bob Iger has been talking about laying more people off too, and you know they're putting it on the whole fact that, you know, COVID and you know they're saying people don't want to get back to work, and it's like a whole fucking ding dong thing. You know what I mean? So, for me, I'm just like 911 will be good. I agree with you, Chris. I mean, honestly,
me too.
It's gonna be fine. Even if Fox does shit the bed on it, like somebody will like grab that shit in a heartbeat. Ryan Murphy, everybody, fucking golden boy. You know what I mean? So
Totally,
people want that.
100%. He
People want that.
literally
Look,
can't
that's
do
why.
no wrong. It's insane.
That's why Netflix gave him like a blank check, or they gave him like $20 million or some shit, just to like just create something for us. You know, whatever you
Yeah,
make,
like,
we'll
give
be
me
fine
5
with it.
shows, whatever you want. 5 shows.
Do whatever you want. You know,
Wow.
we believe in you.
And all of
And
the
he's
shows
like,
were great
cool.
that he came. I mean, he
And
did
they were-
Dahmer, he did Halston, which was really fucking
Hollywood.
good. Yeah, I mean, he's
yeah.
had a lot of. I mean, he literally is like, it's like he can't do any wrong. He's got the Midas fucking touch, which is insane in Hollywood.
Midas touch, but he touched it too much.
I mean, I think the thing
Let's
that was
go,
like
member.
the worst that he ever did was like that prom shit. I think that was like the
Smoking a
least
pancake?
revered thing that nobody's even listening. Go fuck yourself, guys. How about that? Okay, how
Smoking a
about that?
pancake.
Let's move on to the next topic, since no one wants to hear what I have to say about how great Ryan Murphy is.
Get in
Let's
there,
talk
Sabrina.
about it.
No,
Yeah,
I
let's talk
talked
about
about it. Nobody listened.
Come on, get in there.
Nothing. I'm done.
Liam,
You guys can go fuck
there's-
yourselves.
Jake, what do you think?
I
Jake's
don't
like,
know.
but he has some
I'm
great
scared.
projects. Honestly, have you watched a lot of Ryan Murphy stuff, Jake?
Maybe.
Who
I
hasn't?
don't know.
If you
what has
exist,
he-
you've watched Ryan Murphy.
Probably. I mean, what has he done?
What?
What has he done?
Nip
American
Tuck,
Horror
American
Story,
Horror Story, Prom,
911, Lone Star. Was
Oh.
Glee his too?
Yes, of course, Glee was his.
Glee, you know.
Glee was huge. And what is the one with oh my god, I can't remember his name. Billy
The
Porter.
Watcher.
The one with Billy Porter. It's huge.
Pose.
It's so
Pose.
good. Pose. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean,
You
literally
know,
everything
All
he
American
does is
Crime
critically
Stories.
acclaimed. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
the guys like
Clinton one.
Halston.
Halston, yeah, it was fun.
What's the new one? The Watcher, you already said, right?
Yeah, The
Dahmer.
Watcher.
I mean, huge.
I mean, they
huge
go
shows.
on and on. Hollywood, you know, they go on and on and on. He's got so many.
But he started with Nip Tuck, and that was a huge
Ratched.
success, which led him into which led him into American Horror Story, and that just like he sent him off the rails. Like
Okay.
he kills it in everything. So he hasn't done much. GR says
hasn't done much. Just a couple
He's getting
projects,
around,
he's
a couple
done
things.
literally more than anybody currently in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Honestly,
He's
When it
sold a
comes to
few cars.
TV, like he's like I
He's
said
a
before,
boss.
it's like Netflix just like take our money, and we'll take our pants
everyone
down.
wants to work with him. Like everyone's into it, and like everyone wants to be. And he's also very loyal to his actors, which I love. So he'll like bring actors from show to show to show, like people that he likes, people that do a good job, and that loyalty is not like a super normal, like it reminds me of
not.
like how Christopher Guest used to be, and have like the same cast members in all of his movies. Like that's how Ryan Murphy rolls. And if he worked with you and he liked you, he brings you to another project, which I as an actor, I think is fucking amazing, and I give him a lot of credit for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty goes a long way in this town. It's hard to get. Like a lot of people just like kind of push you aside. You do a project, you're done. Sometimes you don't work for them forever, but then sometimes it comes back around. But it's hard. Someone else that's very loyal though is Martin Scorsese, and his new movie is coming out in May with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it is called Killers of the Flower Moon. Now this is actually based on a true story, and I heard about this and I read about it, and the cast alone is amazing for this. De Niro, DiCaprio, John Lithgow, Brendan Fraser, Jesse Plemons, and then Scorsese himself directing. Like
Fat
a huge
Damon's
cast.
in it?
Fat Damon's he's in here. He's actually very skinny now, Sabrina. He's
That's why I
kicked
call
some ass
Jesse
for
Plemons.
himself.
I call him Fat
Yeah.
Damon.
But it's called The Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, DiCaprio will portray the brave killer who married into a Native American tribe so that he could help his uncle brutally murder all their members for their money. So this dates back to the 1920s, and it centers around an FBI investigation into a string of murders on this true story, and 24 Native Americans were killed during the slayings in Oklahoma. So, I mean, it's kind of, like I said, it comes out in May, and it's based off a novel, too, because they wrote a book, of course, upon this, and then they wrote the script for this.
It's based off an uncovered fucking section of our history that people don't want anyone to know about. Is what it's based off of. I mean, yes, there was a novel, but it's literally based on a true story about, that they know of 24 Native Americans who were murdered for oil that was on their land. And it's super fucked up. It happened in the 20s. It's a real fucking thing. And the fact that it was like at the inception of the FBI. So it was like one of the first like major cases that ever happened with the FBI. Um, and the uncle, who is portrayed by,
De Niro.
thank you, his name was William Hale, the actual character that he's playing.
Yeah.
And he got his nephew, which is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Caprio.
Yeah, and he plays Ernest Burkhart, who he basically goes in and marries this Indian woman. Her real name was Molly Kyle, who's played by Lily Gladstone, and basically marries into the family, because the only way for an outsider to get what they called, it was kind of like basically a share of stock. It was called a head right. And the only way that you could get a head right, because it was kind of owned through the government but on Indian land, was to marry into a family. And as soon as he married her, the family members just started dropping like flies, and they wound up inheriting all the money. Like, but someone straight up murdered, like shot in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't it wasn't all even like, oh, maybe something happened. But because it was Native Americans, no one really gave a fuck. And like, until it got like so out of control. But like at one point, I don't want to spoil the story for people who don't know history or don't know like what is going to happen.
It's a great story though.
It's riveting. It's fucked up, as most American history is. And I'm actually really, for someone like Martin Scorsese to do this, I think it's like, I mean, you can't go. I can't wait to see it, honestly. And I don't even like Leonardo DiCaprio. Everyone knows that I do not care for him, but I'm really excited to see this movie.
I know. I'm too. Like, there's no trailer yet, which I'm surprised is getting very close, and there's no trailer.
They shot by Spokane, by the way. Just FYI.
Oh, did they? Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And even DiCaprio was saying it's a breathtaking movie. It's like one of his favorite things he's done, which is it says a lot, But of course, this is
around the world. That guy.
I mean, yeah, and like they're saying, I mean, it's going to be probably nominated for a lot of shit. It just seems like it's one of those movies, and it's it's Scorsese, and like honestly, like this seems like something that he would do. And for me, like the cast seems amazing. And Brendan Fraser too, coming in hot.
Oh yeah,
right?
Brendan Fraser's in it.
I was like, that's fucking awesome. This guy's coming back hot. And I was working for Scorsese. He's on like high right now. He's probably going nuts.
Sure.
He's probably so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like his phone's buzzing off the chain. Jake, what do you think about this? Does this sound like a good premise to you? Do you think you'll go see this movie?
Yeah, I love stuff like this. I was just kind of reading through the article while you guys were chatting about it, and it makes me sad that people are even capable of this. So I think it's good that they're bringing it to light. It's mankind is weird,
fucked,
and
yeah, I mean, like they're just their land. There's oil in their land, So it's like they strike the gold mine, and all of a sudden, like people are going to take advantage of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which had happened a lot already.
I was kind of thinking like, there's like the Beverly Hillbillies story. It's a similar thing, but
it's kind of like that.
Obviously, in that show, clearly they're like,
but it's different. But
yes, I was gonna say they find land on these people's, they find oil on these people's land, and in that story, everything was great. They got what they wanted. They got a big house. Everybody took care of them, which is the complete opposite of this. So it's like, I don't know, it kind of makes you wonder how much of the FBI was involved with storytelling, And
it took so long for them to actually do something about it,
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, like the story, it's like how many people died before they finally like started putting the pieces together.
24 people
24,
died,
yeah.
That they know
Until they finally became like a suspect. It's like, don't blame the white guy, you know what I mean? Which is pretty fucked up.
And he was poisoning the wife, and then like I think he was indicted before, like, and she was able to recover, which is,
So do they ultimately not get the money for this? Do they end up losing in the end?
We're not going to spoil that, Jake. We're not going to spoil that.
Yeah.
We are not going to spoil that because that's too much.
I know the historical story, so I know what happens, but it's a lot. There's like there's an arc of how it goes, and like they do have control, and it's a lot of things. But I probably said too much by saying that she makes it out alive, but that's.
But if you put it in perspective,
can go look it up. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. But if you put it in perspective,
silver screen.
It's different. But if you put it in perspective, they had $30 million. That's how much they got. $30 million. It's a lot of freaking money back then. In the 20s. It's a lot of money back in the 20s.
It's ridiculous. That's like
$30 million. And so they just had a target on their back,
Sure.
And then they think you fall in love and all this. And in Hale, he was convicted for his involvement for 3 years only. For 3 years later for 2 decades. So for 2 decades, but I mean, that's it. But still a long time, but not, I mean, for how many people he killed, I don't know.
Yeah, and then he got out on parole, which is fucking insane.
Yeah,
Like,
got parole in 1947.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a really very interesting story, and it shows a dark point in American history, and I'm glad that they're making this movie to shed light upon it. And there's not a lot of, like, we still believe in Christopher Columbus discovered America, which is a fucking crock of horseshit. So it's nice that they're shedding light to some real American history where it shows that Native Americans have been taken advantage of by the people of this country that we call home, even though it was their home. Like, I think that I think they need to do more of this. And I think they also need to teach American history properly in school, so that when you grow up, you're not like, yay, Christopher Columbus, who was actually a giant fucking douchebag. Like, I'm just saying, he's Italian. I'm Italian. I when I grew up, I was like, Christopher Columbus. I used to dress up like a pilgrim in my Catholic school, and half the kids dressed up like Indians, half the kids dressed up pilgrims. We had a nice lunch, and it was like, everything's great. And I'm like, this is so false. Like, if you look at history, it is so fucking false. Like, the way that it's portrayed to most people growing up. And like, I'm all for stuff like this coming out in the media, because it will educate people no matter what. And like, if you just watch it, you'd be like, what the fuck, this is based on a true story, and you could Google your way through the reality of it, which I think is important, because a lot of people wouldn't know to do that otherwise. It brings light to some fucked up shit that went on, and I appreciate that. I don't think there's any harm in knowledge.
Yeah, there really isn't. Speaking of some fucked up shit, I want to talk about the Army of the Dead. So the Army of the Dead, of course, it's really, if you haven't seen, it's a Netflix movie that came out, I think it was in 2020, I think it was. Our boy, friend of the show, Dave Bautista, friend of the show, starring in this movie. I love it. I love him so much. So anyways, Bautista. And so it takes place where there's a virus that originates. There's a virus that takes over the world, killing millions of people, turning them into zombies, monsters, and then they like just kind of section them off in Las Vegas. And then but there's a bank there, and they want to do like a bank heist pretty much, because there's like millions and millions of dollars, but all these zombies are on it, and they hire this team to go in and get the money out, and then they get a cut of it pretty much. So that's if you haven't seen it, that's what it is. So back after it came out on Netflix, well, our director was like, hey, we're going to do a sequel, because it got greenlit by Netflix right away. Like they freaking picked it up, and Zack Snyder's the director. So Zack Snyder's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do this. Well, now it's been a couple years later. People are like, well, what's happening with Army of the Dead 2? They did a spinoff from there. They did the Thieves one that was on Netflix. And now the thing is, though, Snyder had the whole Snyderverse thing. He redid the Snyder cut. Now he just did Rebel Moon, and apparently he's going to do more Rebel Moon. That's like a Star Wars-esque type of movie. We talked about that before. It was supposed to be Star Wars. So they turned it down, took that script, reworked it. Now it's Rebel Moon. So Zack Snyder weighed in on this finally. He said, as far as the Army universe goes, because he wants to do more, it's still alive and well in my mind. I know exactly what I would do. It really depends on how we try to figure out how we go forward with Rebel Moon and the Rebel Moon universe. So he's already planning on doing 1 million Rebel Moons too. It's not a small time commitment, Rebel Moon. It's not. And a sci-fi thing at this scale does require a lot of my attention to make sense. So he's saying that it's still happening. It's going to the back burner for now, because, he is so busy doing Rebel Moon, and everyone's going to go nuts about this. Apparently it's going to be good. I don't know. We'll see. It was supposed to be a Star Wars movie. So I'm excited, though. I want to see more of this Army of the Dead, but I'm also like, the way it ended, though, do we need it? That's my question today. Do we need an Army of the Dead 2? I think it was a solid movie. It was fun. It was different. It was a heist movie with zombies. It's cool, But let's go with Sabrina. Sabrina, what do you think? Should he do this, or should he just let it stay in the back burner and never get back to it?
I mean, honestly, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed Dave Bautista, friend of the show. I enjoyed Tig Notari's character was amazing. I really liked the safecracker. I can't remember his name. The German guy who cracked the safes. I really liked him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I
love how Tig came in too.
Oh yeah, it was like she replaced that douchebag. What's his name with the big forehead? DeLeo, Chris DeLeo, is that his name?
That sounds right.
Dave DeLeo, something DeLeo, Chris DeLeo, I think maybe he's a comedian. She replaced him very last
Chris
minute.
DeLeo.
And Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, it's him.
So she had to shoot basically all of her scenes like by her fucking self, like on a green screen or with this or with that, with another person just like doing her coverage over someone's shoulder. Like, so she basically acted the fuck out of that movie without any of the actual actors in it for the most part. So that's actually super impressive, and she was great. She was one of my favorite parts of that. And so I meant, like I said, I meant to watch the spinoff about, because it was like largely featuring the safecracker, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, he was really funny. He was great.
But I just didn't watch it, so I'm kind of bummed. But I will absolutely watch this 110% if and when it comes out. I'm all over it. I'm friend of the show, Dave. I'll watch anything that you do, buddy. Let's do it.
Damn right, Dave. It's happening. We're gonna watch it. I hopefully, and like Dave wants to do it too. I mean, but spoiler alert, I don't know how he can do it. I don't know how he can do it, but because if you've seen the movie, I mean, it's been 2 years. Jake, I think you should watch it. But Dave dies. Everybody, Dave dies. So there's the girl shoots him. Yeah, she shoots him in the head. They had that whole accident. He's turned to a zombie, and she shoots him in the head.
How about Peacemaker? He was dead. He came back. He has a whole series. Everything's great. So he doesn't have to be dead. I mean, it's
but he was a zombie.
Movie. Let's have a parallel experience here. I mean, they'll figure it out, dude. And then what are they going to make him, Michael? Maybe they make him a living zombie, and they somehow can get through to him, like, you know, in Shaun of the Dead when his best friend was a zombie, they just kept him in the basement. And he played video games and stuff.
That's Shaun of the Dead, though.
Who knows? I'm just
Shaun of the Dead is awesome.
It is. That's a comedy. This is not a comedy. I mean, there's comedic factors here, but it's a different kind of feel.
If it
says
he's signed on, he's gonna be in it. So I'm looking forward to it, and I will watch it.
I'm kind of over the whole zombie thing, though.
I agree,
but
I
get that.
I agree. I really do. It's kind of annoying after a while, but like we just watched The Last of Us, and that was, you know, I mean, it's not zombie per se, but it's, you know, very similar to zombie situations, and it was a really, really good season. So
it should have been more zombie. Good show, but
I mean, you could take The Walking Dead and shove it up your fucking ass and every spinoff of that bullshit, but like this I will watch, honestly.
In the words of Batista's fellow coworker, turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
Right in there.
Yeah. Jake,
while
you
you're
like
writing
the premise of this? You know. While you're writing Tron, you pucker it up there.
Yeah.
Jake, I know you probably haven't seen this. It's on Netflix if you ever want to watch it, but does it sound interesting to you at all?
I mean, if you are saying it's worth a watch, so that
it's fun. It's fun.
But if I was scrolling through Netflix, I would probably go right past it if it was just me and I didn't know what it was. But
yeah,
because
the imagery too doesn't really showcase what it is either on Netflix. So you wouldn't even know what it is. I mean, it's very flashy. It's very vibrant. It doesn't seem like it would be like a zombie thing. So like, you know, the poster itself just has like all these crazy colors, which I have on the screen right now, and then like they're holding guns, you know. So, but
that's what I'm
like,
looking at. Yeah.
You know,
like
it's fun though.
Behind them, and bullets. And money and dice.
It's very much like Suicide Squad or something like that. You know.
Okay. So if it's a cool cinematic take on things, then that makes it different. You know, I don't know, just for that experience, but. Yeah, when it comes to like the viruses and pandemics, and not just because of what the whole world just went through, but just that whole, we have 28 days to live, fix everything. And then a bunch of people in suits come in to clean rooms and they got to figure out what's going on. And then they all end up being fine. I don't know if that's what happens with this, but
everything's okay.
No, see, this is centered around a heist, so it really has nothing to do with saving anything. Movie. It's just going into this like zombie-infected area that you're not supposed to go into and break money out of a fucking safe. So it really has nothing to do with like trying to cure humanity or any of that fucking nonsense.
Yeah, not at all.
Like you're usually force-fed with, you know, which is a nice.
Is it like that heist that's dubbed and it's like originally I think it's a Spanish series it's called Heist. I don't remember what it's called. Heist, I think it's dubbed over as a series on Netflix. It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen it. I don't know, maybe. But then
I love that you've
seen
that.
A zombie outbreak.
I'll just watch this dubbed over movie, but I'm not going to watch Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Oh shit, calling you out. But they pretty much just trap all these zombies in Vegas, and you know it's like no one goes there. The zombies are communicating now. They're starting to become smarter. They have a whole way of like forming like a tribe almost, and they're talking to each other, like, you know, through clicks and shit like that. But there's like a
and there's like a
communication
queen
happening.
bee type
There's a queen bee.
situation. Like
Yeah.
it's all very.
But they're just going in there to get the money.
I guess is that what they call that?
Yeah, kind of like hive mind. But they're just trying to get the money and get out. And that's what like I said, the shenanigans entail.
Ensue.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it is. But it's fun, and you know, friend of the show Dave's in it, so you should support him, Jake. Check it out. Not with Charlie though. Definitely not with Charlie. She she will not like that. That will not be good for her.
Nightmare worthy.
No, we just went through reading the first Harry Potter book, and we're at the part right now where Voldemort is drinking the unicorn blood, and that freaked her out. So that was a good gauge of like, you know, she's like, that chapter was scary, Dad. And I was like, that's a little different, right? You know,
a little different.
Yeah.
You know, it might scare her too.
Like that.
You know, what might scare her too is Dungeons and Dragons, because the dragons look pretty scary in this too. But Dungeons and Dragons is coming out, everybody, and it's coming out March 31st. I was gonna say May. Coming out March 31st. Dungeons and Dragons is coming out, and this, you know, the trailer is out right now, and we've never talked about it. I'm not a big D&D person, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of just talk about the trailer for a second. And it's got Chris Pine in it, Michelle Rodriguez is in it, Hugh Grant, Michelle Rodriguez, friend of the show.
No, Chris Pine, definitely not Michelle Rodriguez.
Chris Pine.
Steve Trevor, friend of the show.
Yeah, I didn't know that his dad was an actor too until recently. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's how it goes, you know, nepotism. But the new trailer came out, and you know, it's
like Chris Pine. He's an excellent actor. You throw nepotism at shitty actors. He's a great actor.
You know,
who cares? His dad was an actor. He's great.
Well, the whole thing sees a band of misfit party members. They go on a journey to stop the Red Wizards from stealing a powerful relic that they need for their plans of world domination. And there's a lot of comedy here. So if you're a friend of the D&D, if you love D&D, if you cast the magic missile, you might not like this. So I think that's the thing, Sabrina. I don't
like,
think.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't really know if they're gonna like this, because it is a comedy, and I think a lot of these people that play D&D really wanted like an epic. They want an epic journey into like the D&D world. Like we have our dungeon master. We're getting in here. We're forming a team. We're gonna kick some ass, you know, all together. But I think that this is, you know, Chris Pine's like being Chris Pine, like doing those little quirks and laughs and jokes, and you know, and they're making fun about like some demon comes or some alien. I was gonna say some like, you know, fucking corpse comes alive, and then they're making fun of it, and they're like joking back and forth. They're saying yes, yes, yes. There's some funny moments. The CGI is a little weak in the trailer for me. I definitely like the comedy aspects. I'm not a big D&D person. I hope it is fun. Michelle Rodriguez is like the strength in it. You have like the courage, which is Bridgerton. The guy from Bridgerton plays like the courage guy. They got a magic character. You got an owl bear in it. An owl bear, I don't know what the hell that even means.
Man bear pig.
I like that.
Terrifying.
Man, you got man bear pig in there. You know what I mean? But you got like, I did like the scene where like at the very end of the trailer, like he's like jumping up with his sword, he's about to stab a dragon, you know? So I thought it was kind of cool. Like I would actually, like, I never watched anything until like I just watched a trailer, and I was like, oh, this guy looks all right, you know. But I guarantee D&D people are not going to like it. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Because it is making fun of it in a way.
The D&D games are all based on your own interpretation of what's going to happen when they roll the dice. Like there's a game master, and it's all their creative. So this is not going to be anybody who plays D&D's world. So
I don't think so, right?
Challenge for them. You know, that's gonna be a challenge for people who play, because it's all based on what you want to do and what your group wants to do. So,
right, but this is the group who made the film and what they want to do.
Right. So, I mean, to somebody like us who's just looking to see what's going on, it might be cool. But for somebody who plays, they might, like you said, Brian, be a little turned off by it because it's not theirs. Or they'll have some strong opinions about how things go down. Just put it that way.
There have already been strong opinions online. People have not been digging it, you know, and it's like, because it is a comedy. You know, you got Chris Pine already cracking jokes left and right. So, and I think everybody wanted like a Lord of the Rings D&D movie, and it hasn't come out yet. But from what I've heard that people have seen early views online, people say it's fun. It's like, it's fun. They're joking. It's, you know, it's being light of the material as opposed to too serious. And no one's going to spend like $300 million on a D&D movie. It's not going to happen, you know. They probably spent like 100 maybe on this, you know, or maybe not, but more like 80. You know what I mean? And then if that, and then they're gonna make money hopefully off it. Who knows? I don't know about this. Sabrina, what do you think? Are you intrigued by this at all? Did the trailer make you excited to see it, or what?
Oh, let's not push excited. I honestly watched the trailer and I was like, well, this is gonna be a giant piece of shit. And then I actually did laugh a few times. So like I definitely I have a little bit more hope than I did when I first saw the link. I was like, ugh, gross. Definitely not my speed. And I'm actually really surprised there hasn't been a D&D movie before. I think because Stranger Things kind of went into that Vecna D&D world that it like kind
Yeah.
of spurred interest and opportunity. And that's probably kind of where this came from because D&D has been around forever.
There was
And
one like in the 90s, I think, or like early 2000s, and just didn't do well.
yeah, it was because it was a
Like a fart
shined
in the
up
wind.
piece of shit. But like now that like I think because Stranger Things brought light to it, like they were like, let's give this a shot, now. And the trailer actually, I laughed a couple times. I do really like Chris Pine a lot. And the unknown girl, I enjoyed her in the trailer with the red hair, blonde hair, whatever the fuck. I liked her. I don't even know who she is. Michelle Rodriguez annoys me because I just think of the Fast and the Furious and family, and I've had enough of that shit.
I thought she was
But
actually pretty good. She had like that. I mean, she's playing that character. She always kind of played the muscle. You know what I mean? Like she's the tough person. So
I kind of feel like, and this is weird to say because like I feel like Tessa Thompson would have been a better choice, honestly.
oh, she would have been good.
Um,
Yeah, I think
I
about
could.
Thor: Love
I
and
feel like
Thunder. You
that
know, or Thor Ragnarok.
Valkyrie like vibe of her. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I feel like she. I don't know why, but like I kept seeing Tessa Thompson, and it's probably because, and it's not fair to Michelle Rodriguez because she is a very good actress. I just am so over the Fast and the Furious, and that's all. Every time I see her, that's all I think about. And it drives me nuts. So that's my own
Oh yeah,
personal
she's
shit, and I will fully admit that. But as I was watching it, I was like, oh, fucking Valkyrie would be great playing this. Who is Tessa Thompson? But yeah, I didn't hate it, and I expected to, so that's a good thing, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it really is. I honestly hope it's good. Like like I said, people are expecting to be like this shit storm. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's gonna be a shit storm. I think it's gonna be all right. I think people are gonna be like, not a bad movie. Not amazing movie. Like I said, the CG is not fantastic. It's all right. It works. It's not like it's something that you watch on I don't know, Skinamax or something. I don't know. It's like
I don't think they have CG on Skinamax, bro. That's like
it's
softcore
the
porn.
first.
Like, what are you
I
even
don't
saying,
know.
Skinamax?
I don't know. It's not like something you see. Jake's like,
Skinamax is like the Red Shoe Diaries, dude. Like, that is
okay.
the weirdest parallel
How about
ever.
CW? It's not like
Yeah,
CW
there
CG.
you go. There you
How
go.
about
You
that?
got it.
The
Winning.
CW CG. It's not like that. It's it's got a little bit more oomph to it. Got a little bit more bread in the butter. I don't. And for me, it's all right. It's
Just
all
straight
right.
butter with a couple crumbs.
It's a little bit of butter. It's a little bit of butter. That's all I can say. It's not bad.
Salted or
But you know,
unsalted? That's the question.
it's always salty. It's always salty. But I think that it's gonna be better than I expected to be. Watch this trailer, and I had no urge to see this. And I watched. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll give it a chance. It's coming out soon. That's why I decided we'd talk about it for a second. When it comes out,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it maybe for a little bit more. We'll see. Unless we're gonna hate it, and we'll just like fart past that. You know what I mean? Let that be in the wind. So
A lot of flagellants tonight. Jesus, guys.
Like a fart in the Tron ride.
Rein it in.
gone in 2.5
A lot
seconds.
of
Imagine the
buttholes
velocity of
and,
that, though.
and wind and all of these things.
Yeah. Super windy.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Something else that's like a fart in the wind because it's gone is the Marvel Studios president. So the Marvel Studio president has been fired, everybody, been let go. Now, this is something that comes kind of shocking because she's been there for 17 years. 17 years as the top brass at Marvel, working with Kevin Feige, Victoria Alonso. So she's one of the top creatives. She vacated her position at Marvel Studios. And actually, like, the people are wondering, like, why is this happening? She actually headed the physical and post-production visual effects and animation production. She was in charge of all that. And they say that she was blindsided, that she did not expect to be fired. And even but Kevin Feige was kind of like, about this too, because he was kind of like, well, it is what it is. She's gone. He would not kind of weigh on this. It almost seemed like he was okay with her being gone. And there's been some rumors kind of going around that it was a toxic environment under her control, accusations of emerging of, just it being horrible to work for her, and the leadership was bad. And so, and they're, saying that things were changing constantly, and, it was hard to keep up, and that people didn't know how to do their jobs because of this. So maybe it was something, the writing was on the wall, but we don't know about this. We don't do the ins and outs of Marvel. We don't really see it. All we watch are the movies that come to screen. And of course, this year hasn't been the best. Like this new phase, everyone knows. Come on, like we're not like rocket science here. Like this rocket scientists here. Like this phase of Marvel hasn't been as good as the last phase. It hasn't done as well, I should say. I've still enjoyed a lot of it, but it hasn't done as well.
Stupid Brie Larson movie comes out.
Well, that's coming out. It's coming out this fall. I mean, who knows? But that's still like.
I will not be watching it. Just FYI, everybody. She can go fuck herself with her attitude and her fucking elitist bullshit.
But it's like when you see that, like, they've had some, it hasn't been as good. Like some people have been very critical about this too, like between the Disney Plus stuff and then that's come out theatrically. But then you had Eternals wasn't that good. I still love Ant-Man. There's a special place in my heart, even though people want to trash it and I freaking hate them for that. But whatever, haters gonna hate. That's what it's gonna be. And I
liked Ant-Man too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I think it was fun. It's a fun movie. Turn your freaking brain off. Stop being so critical. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Doctor Strange. It was okay. I expected more from there, but I also hyped myself up about that. So there've been some ups and downs with this. Ups and downs about this. Sabrina's hitting that microphone.
I know. I slapped the shit out of it. I'm sorry.
Slapped the bit. There's some up and downs. Ups and downs. And so I think that her leaving right now, it's one of those things that maybe the writing was on the wall, we just didn't see it. Maybe there was stuff happening behind the scenes we didn't know about, but she's gone after 17 years, and they're not saying she's being replaced. They're not saying anything's happened with this right now. They're just kind of moving forward. Sabrina, do you think this is something to do with what's been happening at Marvel, with it not being as popular as it has been before? Or do you think that maybe there's some truth to these rumors that maybe she was just like a hard person to work with?
There seem to be a lot of conflicting reports. And like, there is also like, obviously, if you're in a position of leadership, like you're never going to please everybody. So
that's also true.
I don't know about a hostile work environment, but in order to do your job, you're going to have to crack some heads. So I don't know the details and I don't want to speak on something that I don't know, especially something, there's so many conflicting reports about it. I read about it, and there doesn't seem to be two people that agree on the same scenario. So I think it's shitty for you to blindside anyone with them being fired. So fuck Marvel for that. And if she deserved it, fine. But like, there should have been a discussion. Someone that you worked with for 17 years to just be like shocked by the fact that you're fucking all of a sudden fired is pretty fucking shitty. So I don't think they handled it well, whether she deserved it or not. But that's really I really can't give more of an opinion on it because I've read, you know what I mean? And I just can't come to something that seems like it makes sense for what they're saying because everybody is saying different things. So I hope it's the right move for them. I just don't appreciate the way they did it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you think that you would have some respect for the person a little bit. I mean, 17 years is a long time. It's a long time. And then somebody be like, oh, well, I guess that's it. You like wake up and you're done. But look at what happened to Bob Chapek, though, too. Bob Chapek, when he was fired, he thought everything was fine. He was like dancing Elton John. And they're like, hey, by the way, happy Saturday, you're fired. Bob, you're done, Bob. Goodbye. What about Bob? Who cares? You're done. And then Monday morning, Bob Iger came back, so it's like, this is kind of a thing that the mouse does, maybe.
Listen, Chapek got like the most amazing severance package ever, so I don't feel bad for him at all. Okay,
they took care of him.
If you fired me after I was dancing at Elton John for free at Dodger Stadium and gave me millions of dollars, I'd be like, great time, Disney. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Thanks for the memories. See ya. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Even if they weren't so great.
Yeah,
Jake, exactly. What do you think about this scenario? Do you think this is, you think there's some truth to these rumors? Do you think that maybe it's like, I mean, how would you feel if you're working someplace for 17 years and they blindside you like this? Think that's pretty shitty?
Yeah, I think it'd be shitty, but a lot of times you can be, I mean, like, we don't know the whole story, right?
Yeah, we don't.
I'd be pissed. It's bullshit, I think, for somebody just to at least give them an explanation. So until everybody lets the story fly, like the truth comes out, then we're just going to be stuck guessing, I guess, But a lot of times when you're in a position like she is, I can see where somebody could put people around them that creates an echo chamber so you don't realize how messed up what you're doing really is. You get a bunch of yes men around you, and then it's beyond that, you don't know what's happening. So if she was ignorant to her ways and what was happening, then somebody came along and, sorry, but you were gone. you know, it's not really a blind side for everybody else, but maybe for you because you're just lost in yourself.
Yeah, and then for everybody else, so like, you know, maybe everybody else like, oh, this means they knew it. Like you said, the writing
Yeah,
was maybe on the
like
wall.
finally, it's about time.
Like,
You
like,
know,
oh,
like
they're like
yeah.
singing "na na na na" as she's walking out. You know?
Yeah,
No, were they
Could
really?
be.
No,
We don't
I'm
know.
not. No, they weren't. But I'm saying they could be. You never know. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
I was like, that's fucked up.
That's
Yeah,
what you'd be like.
right.
That's what you'd be like. Oh, I fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I was
it's
like,
like
I
I
did not
super
read
fucked
that.
up.
Right.
I
But,
mean,
yeah.
again, this is just rumor world. We don't really know, but this happened. So there's
No.
changing the guard at Marvel. Maybe it'll be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Who knows? But all I know is now it's time for our featured story of the night. Yes. All right, it's time to talk about a little Mandalorian, everybody. So I'm going to talk about Mandalorian Episode 4, Season 3. This just came out on Wednesday, so everybody got a chance to watch it. We're keeping updated. We're getting into it, talking about a little bit more Mando and little baby Grogu. So this episode for me, I mean, it's again, I feel like it sucks. It's like the shortest episode. It's like 32 minutes. I'm like, it went by way too fast. And again, it's kind of just developing them reintegrating themselves into the Mandalorians. You know, it's like now you got Bo-Katan in there, and I feel like there's some shit happening right there with her. Like, of course, I saw it writing on the wall after she went in the waters. I'm like, oh, she's gonna keep that helmet on, and I think she wants to be in charge again. I really do, and I think she felt that power this episode a little bit, taking charge, getting to sit by the fire by herself, and having like everybody walk away. And she's like, I'll take my mask off, but I can hang out here by myself. Yeah, I'm in charge. I think she likes it. I think she does. And then actually is talking about how she saw the mythosaur. That's a huge thing. It's like, this is the way. Like, I feel like this is her way of kind of making herself take charge. And it makes us as an audience wonder, will she be the person to lead them? Or will Mando actually be the person to lead them? Because he doesn't really want it, but she wants it really bad. So now we have this kind of force. Will she make Mando want it? Or will she actually take over? I feel like it might be one of those things where it's forcing him to be the best, like, for the group. I don't know. Only time will tell for this. I did like the Jedi flashback. I thought that was a lot of fun. That you had I think it's Kelron Beck, I think how you say his name, who actually played Jar Jar Binks originally in the original trilogy. And like, that's who this guy is. So when you see him, he comes in there and he saves Grogu, because they've always hinted at, like, who is the guy that saved Grogu? Who is it, you know? And they finally showed him. It's big fan service. I know fans are going nuts online, being like, "Oh shit, it's Jar Jar Binks," you know. And the actor's name is Ahmed Best. And the thing is, this guy went through a lot of shit when he played Jar Jar too. Like, he almost killed himself because of it. Like, the fans were really fucking shitty to him because they did not like Jar Jar Binks, and they went nuts on him. So he almost killed himself. So the fact that they were able to bring him back and play this role, which I guess he played on a game show before as this character, so that they integrated it back. Yeah, honestly, that's what a game show where he played this character, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen it. But the fact is, like, that was a way of, like, saying thank you to Star Wars because they knew how much it hurt him before. So now he got this opportunity. But I don't know, for me, I'm like, this is pretty solid. It's pretty solid. It's quick as shit, but pretty solid. It's really developing. I said, you know, Bo-Katan's kind of like relationship with them and integrating and like being a Mandalorian, I think. Jake, you got a chance to watch this, right? You're caught up with us. What'd you think about this new episode? Were you excited about it? Did it fulfill you, or did you feel left like, what the hell? It's done already?
Fulfill you?
Super fulfilling. Yeah. It was great. It's like a whole quart of Moose Tracks ice cream all to myself. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I liked it, and I saw. I went back and I rewatched the third one just to kind of get my brain right, and went right into the fourth. And I could see where her, like you were saying in the beginning, she's kind of getting all of these signs from the ether that she's in the right position, right? She's potentially sees the mythosaur. We don't really know if that's true or if it was just in her head.
No, she saw the fuck out of that mythosaur, bro.
Yeah, and then she gets the she gets the spot at the fire, and so it's either she's getting all these signs who are gonna bolster her what?
The baby Yoda's so cute. Look at the picture. I want to touch it. He's so adorable. I can't take it. I'm sorry.
Where is he?
You're
I don't see
breaking
him.
Jake's train of thought here.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's
Jake,
got his
on the
shield
screen.
on.
He's like, he's holding on to like his little like neckerchief. It's so cute. I can't. I
Yeah.
love that little fucker.
He had to.
That's a
I
great
thought he was
moment.
going to eat one of those crabs. By the way,
Me
I thought he was eating those
too.
crabs too.
Thought for
I
sure
was
he was going
waiting
to
for it.
snack.
Do not put it in your mouth, little man. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
or get like snapped by it and be upset.
I wish he would have.
But he, it's I can see where it's either going to be her ego is inflating itself, or it's actually the universe putting her in that position. And then there's going to be a like, you know, it could be either. It could go either way. I think. And then showing Grogu's backstory, Baby Yoda's backstory, kind of that gives you a little bit in there, and yeah, I thought it was good. It was short, but there was a lot packed in there.
There was.
There's a lot packed
And
in
even,
there.
you know what the weird thing is? Even though they spent like 5 minutes on a flashback scene of Baby Yoda just basically being in a freaking fight, you know, or like being tugged along for like a fight. And even though there was like this long approach of them like going to find the foundling, like there was so much time in that small amount of minutes of the episode where really there was no dialogue. Like there was no, it was just like, we're going to make this happen. And like that, it still had so much packed into it, which is fucking nuts. You know what I mean? Like there was so much time of them getting the foundling, so much time of Baby Yoda's flashback. Like it, but still, if you take out probably half of the episode was basically action and no dialogue. And they still covered a lot of shit. And I think you're both right with Bo-Katan for sure. I think she wants this. I think she wants it like immensely. And I think that she's been, you know, from episode 1, she was like, fuck you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want anything to do with it, bro. Like I'm done. Like no thanks. Right. And then he needs her and she comes to save him. She saves him twice. And now is in the situation where she bathed in the waters of Mandalore and she is actually able to be redeemed, you know, with that creed. And I think at first she wasn't interested, obviously, because she was like, yeah, that's not for me, but thanks y'all.
Yeah.
But if you put that to the side and the way that she's behaved since then, Jake, I think you're absolutely right. Like, I think she's going to go back to this. And I think that they will wind up going back to Mandalore. And I think that maybe fighting the Mythosaur. I don't know. Or maybe embracing the Mythosaur. I don't know. But I do believe she saw it. And I do believe it exists. And I do believe that it will come back around. And I always liked her character. And I'm glad that they brought her back in this way. And that, I think she's great.
And then she actually voiced the character in the animated stuff too. So this is like bringing an animated voice to the actual live action.
I didn't know that.
Who plays that? What's the actress's name who plays her?
What are you gonna try to sign her?
You're trying to find her right now?
She was in.
I don't know her name. She's great though. I'll look her up.
She's been in so much stuff. She was in Babylon. Was it Babylon?
She was in Longmire. Did you guys watch?
Oh, was she?
Battlestar Galactica. That was her big. That's where she first made it big. Is Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
But she is so. I mean, I like her a lot. She's so good.
She's good, but her character in Longmire was awful.
Katie Sackhoff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Katie Sackhoff.
Sure? Wow, that does not look like her at all. Yes, that is her. Oh my God, she looks so different with blonde hair. Crazy.
Yeah, she's normally blonde hair. She's almost normally blonde hair. Like everything I've seen her in, she's had some great stuff. I like she's in a lot of Netflix movies. And she also has, I mean, like I said, Battlestar Galactica was her big claim to fame. I never watched that, but I know that was like, she was a big pivotal part in that show. So
that's crazy. I can't, I mean, I see her now as a different person. Like she looks so different.
Oh yeah. But she's great in it.
There's a picture where she looks like Jessica Chastain, which is kind of crazy too. I guess the hair color really does make a difference.
I mean, I love what they've done with her and given her the opportunity to grow, and the fact that the Mandalorians are kind of like joining together now, and like they're all kind of lining up and like finding their way together. And this is what I think is going to lead to them actually going to Mandalore and actually, you know, coming back, going home, and like now they're just suiting up. They're forming the team. You know, it's like time for us to become a unit, and I think she loves it more and more and more. And I think what she wants and. Like the power that she had right now,
feeling the respect and feeling the power and having that authority, which like, you know, they showed her whole castle get destroyed, but it was fucking her by herself, just sitting around with a droid. now she has that camaraderie again. She has like her people around her, and I feel like that's going to fuel her to do great things. Like I'm actually really
Isn't
excited
she
about
like
it.
part of like a kind of a royalty?
Yeah, she's like royal family. Yeah, the last royal
100%.
family. The last royal family
of Mandalore.
Of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Din Djarin, he didn't want Mando didn't want the black saber.
Doesn't want it
anyway.
No.
Right?
No, and did you see? That was the other thing. When she wielded it, she had no trouble. She was like, like, you know, like spinning poi and fucking like Mando. When he takes it out, it's always like such a struggle. Like he can't.
But he has no idea how to handle it.
He can't mentally control the saber, and she fucking can. It belongs in her hands. The only problem with that is that you have to earn it by fight, like which is.
It's hard to beat Mando.
This is her way. This is her path to do that. You know.
Well, that's the question for you two.
He has control of the saber. Like, so she's going to have to fight him. I don't want that. I really hope it doesn't end up with that. I really hope.
Do you think that it's going to come down? Do you think that this story's end up being her story? That she's going to like coming back up and her royal bloodline getting back there? Or do you think this is a way of like Mando being forced to overtake her in a way and become something that he's not?
Is she the Mandalorian and we've been thinking it's him this whole time?
I mean,
that's a very deep question, Jake. Look at you.
I mean, even the fact that she put the mythosaur on her arm at the end of that episode was kind of like her embracing her heritage in a way. So,
and then they made Baby Yoda a nice little plaque for his little mesh armor.
Yeah, he got his.
That was so cute.
He was so confused. He's like, "Why do I need this?"
He is the most adorable thing I've ever seen. I can't. I love.
How does he wear a helmet? How's he ever gonna wear a helmet? They cut like holes in the side for his ears.
My number one.
Maybe they
thing
go down the
about
mythosaur horns.
Is more Baby Yoda.
Maybe, you know.
Oh yeah, maybe he just has flaps. What if he has flaps, like little Mando?
Or his ears are like the rudders on her jet that does cool stuff when it's flying around. It's flying.
That shit's. I love when that happens.
The paintball
the paintball scene was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's like, he gets hit twice and he flips around the air and whoops that guy's ass and hits him 1, 2, 3 in a row. That was so cool. That's a good way to start the episode.
Going back to episode 3 with like the whole doctor being rehabilitated, whatever that was.
Yeah, weird episode.
He was into cloning for the Empire, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, was he doing that right at the same time Yoda died, and this little guy showed up? Is that what he was cloning?
No, I think he's later.
Yeah, I think they wanted Baby Yoda to clone him. I think that was the.
Well, the rumor online, people are probably. I mean, this is the one thing that it's not really like out there yet, but the idea is that maybe he's the person that makes Snoke in the Star Wars movies. He's the person that led to the cloning for Palpatine to come back for all that stuff. Like his research led to that, because the whole idea for Grogu when he had Grogu was that he was going to use his DNA to be able to clone force sensitive people. But force sensitive people because of the metachlorians that he has, you know? So it's like, it's based off, you know, using that, but he felt too bad for little Grogu that he couldn't do it. So he helped him escape, you know? And then he was rehabilitated, and that shows. But now that he's being switched back, does that mean now that when they brain fried him, is he going to go back to the Empire now? And now that's what leads to him helping all the other clones happen, like, you know, Snoke and Palpatine later on. So is that the tie-in, you know? Because this happens before all those. This happens between, you know, after Return of the Jedi and before, you know, Force Awakens. So does this lead towards all that? That's the question. I think that's why they spent a lot of time on him, and that's what people are saying online too. I kind of get that. Makes sense. Like if that's why they spent that time on him, because he is going to be a bigger part to tying those narratives together.
It was too much for me, that episode. It was like, go fuck yourself, please stop. It's annoying.
Did you notice that they showed the Rock in this episode, or the Rock, the one piece of Coruscant that was like hit?
Oh,
like,
that was the thing.
Yeah. They showed that one piece of Coruscant that was like, you know, because they're above the ground, you know, so they're flying.
There was so much symbolism in that, like that whole thing. It was weird because it's like it's talking about the Empire and then like being rehabilitated, but they had to retrain all these. It's like Project Paperclip with the Nazis and where all those scientists went right after the fall.
Oh yeah.
And then like Russia used some, we used some, and it's like, but you have to be good, and we're going to use all of your craziness for good, right? Right. We're going to go to the moon, good. Right? It's all good. I don't know. But then there's like, you know, there's a thing with being able to touch the earth, and people go grounding, like walking around outside with your bare feet.
Yeah, grounding. It's a big thing.
And they don't let anybody on this planet touch the ground. So you're kind of disconnected from nature. The ultimate.
Yeah.
You can't even touch the rock. You can't even touch the rock.
Yeah, they
right?
wouldn't even
don't
let him touch the rock. So I was thinking about that when that happened. I was like, wow, there's a lot of crazy MK Ultra mind control kind of vibes here with this whole.
This is the way.
Yeah, well, that's not the way.
I thought you were talking about this last episode, and I was so lost. And then I was like, "Oh, you mean the episode?"
No, this last episode, when he was saving when Jar Jar Binks, well, not Jar Jar Binks, but when he was saving Grogu, they fly through the city, and you can see the rock.
Yeah.
You can see that one piece.
No, 100%. But then when he
when
said
they were
you can't
eating their
touch the rock,
popsicles.
like, yeah. That was. But I'm saying that was the previous episodes. Like when you first said it, I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" But no, for sure.
It's interesting.
Maybe those little dinosaurs get to land on the rock and do some stuff.
Maybe.
I'm curious to how are they going to make them do stuff? They're so big. I mean, if they put
the babies, the foundlings, they're foundlings. They're going to be. It's going to be like Game of Thrones. They're going to have like their own set of fucking dragons now.
Any living, breathing thing can be a foundling and trained as a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
This is the way,
this
bro.
This is the way, Jake.
This is the way.
I like it.
They're gonna be riding those shits. You wait when this thing's all done. And then Jon Favreau was in an interview recently talking about the Mandalorian, and they asked him how long is it going to go, and he said, "I'm having such a blast doing this. As long as I'm having fun, I'm going to keep doing this forever."
Yeah.
If he asked, forever long he does it. And they were saying like maybe 10 seasons. He goes, maybe 10 seasons. So it's like that might be a thing. He said it's only a few months a year. They have a great team. They get together. They have fun. They shoot.
A few months a year. It's a long fucking season, dude. Like let's rank a few months a year.
That's what he said. He said it's a few months a year. We get together. We shoot once a year. I think he said we shoot once a year. We shoot once a year. It's fun. We get together. We have a blast. Like I'm always having fun every time. Why would I stop? So it's like this might go for a long time. The ratings were a little bit lower. Yeah, I think so too. The ratings are lower though, so people are freaking out about like, oh, the ratings aren't as high. And I'm like, well, it's still doing good. It's still, they're not just gonna stop. They're just not. There's a built-in audience now, and the whole world's built now. And they keep building off it. Ahsoka will come out, and then like the Skeleton Crew will come out, and they all tie in together, and you'll see like the world is building and building, and I think it's gonna be great. I think what they've done with this is amazing, and I'm always ready for more. Even though like people are complaining there's not enough action in this season too, I'm like, I don't really care. I think it works. The action we have is good, and I think we're developing the characters a lot.
Quite a bit of action, actually.
That's fine. A lot of it's taking place
I have
in the
no
air
problem.
right now, but
and there's more Yoda, which I am all over. Okay, as much Baby Yoda as I can get, as much Grogu as you'll give me, I will take. Okay.
Yeah,
I like how she's like
follow me.
Animatronic when he walks and stuff. He's kind of got like that. I'm a little puppet
So
kind of a
cute.
vibe to him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like when he gets up, he's like, like he makes these little sounds.
Like he's
so
like,
adorable.
like he's struggling, like, oh, I gotta do this again. He's kind of got like this old man vibe going on. It's pretty cool.
I will still say when this ends, he's gonna say, "This is the way." And that's what I think is
his first words.
Those are his first words.
That'd be super cute.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be. This is the way.
I mean, if Yoda was a Mandalorian, how much more of a badass would he be?
I don't even know what that means.
Happy for 2024. Oh, either. But yeah, honestly, I think this is. I mean, we're halfway through the season. There's only 4 more episodes left, so we're halfway through. I don't know. I'm excited to. I think we're gonna go back to Mandalore before the season's done. I think so.
For sure. For sure.
I think we have to go see that mythosaur again. We have to see if it's real or not. I think it's real.
Me
but
too.
it might not be, Jake. You're right. It might not be, but it seems like that was pretty substantial to make her believe again in the lore of it,
I mean, you could go real deep and say that the only thing everything exists in our brains, right? Because we're perceiving it. So technically it's real.
That's what she said. Like, she was like, well, if you're a Mandalore, like your visions, like, of course it would make sense that you, and then she was like, yeah, no, it was real. Like, it was real.
She's like, I saw it. All she said to her was, this is the way.
This is the way.
Yeah,
right.
Which is what they all say.
You saw it. It's real. To you, at least. It doesn't matter if it's real to me, if you saw it.
I think it's real to everybody. I think it exists. I think she rode right past that eyeball with fucking Mando in her arms and her little jetpack, and I'm all about
I don't want to see that eyeball. If I ever saw that eyeball, I'd be like, bye-bye.
A little scary.
One night. I'm going bye-bye.
But this is the way, everybody. This is the way. Anyways, we got to get going. We're a little bit over here. So thank everybody for watching. Yeah, I know, right? Goes by so fast, Jake.
Yeah.
Jake, thanks for coming tonight. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for sitting down and chatting about everything tonight. It's a lot of fun. Jake from Citizen Skull Management.
Thanks,
Manager of the
Jake.
Year. Sabrina, thank you so much for being here again tonight on your weekend, on your Sunday. Thank you so much. Everyone out there, thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your kids, tell your chinchilla. I love chinchillas. Tell your little doggy, tell your little cat, tell your little squirrel that's running around your neighborhood. Tell everybody watch Kruse Control. Gotta get that word out there. We're at 172 subscribers. Bye, GR. We're getting very close to that 200. We gotta break that mark very soon. I want to get there within the next 2 weeks. Come on, we can do it. Anyways, everybody, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for tuning in as we're here from Tinseltown. Have a great night, and we'll see you later. See ya!
Bye-bye.
Ah!